Hey there guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to give you my review of the TCL TAB. Alright, and just to give you some specs on the TCL TAB, this is a budget LTE tablet, so of course it includes Wi-Fi and LTE capability. It is a Verizon exclusive. It comes in at a price of $200, or if you wanted to finance it over 24 months, it's $8.33 a month. Now there are two variations of the TCL TAB. So the TCL TAB you see here, the regular version, or there is a family-friendly version. And that one comes in at the same price. However, it ships with a free bumper case and also has access to some downloadable apps. So you have some learning apps. So it includes a free year of Sago Mini World access, and it also includes 3 months free of Verizon Smart Family Basic. So that's pretty cool, and it comes in at the same exact price. So as you can see on the front, we do have an 8-inch display. It is full HD, so we do have a 1080p display. It does offer a couple different modes. We have eye comfort, dark, and reading modes as well. We have a Snapdragon 665 processor with 3 gigs of RAM. For storage, we have 32 gigs on board. However, it is expandable by up to 256 gigs via micro SD. We have a 5500 milliamp hour battery. We do have a fast charger included in the box, and it also offers OTG reverse charging. So you can use your USB-C charger to charge other devices from this one, which is pretty nice. For our cameras, we have a 5 megapixel on the front and an 8 megapixel camera on the back with an LED flash. For security, we do have a fingerprint sensor embedded in the power key, and we also have Android 10 on board. So taking a look at the design of the TCL TAB, you can see it is a really nice small size, so it's 8 inches, so it does fit in the hand pretty nicely. Now, it does remind me a lot of the Nexus 7, just the design of it. It is a pretty basic design. We have this nice 8-inch display, flanked by some pretty large bezels on the top and bottom, pretty thin ones on the side. You can see we have our 5 megapixel camera right there, and on the side, you can see we have a SIM slot right there. That is our micro SD and SIM slot. So again, you can put up to 256 gigs of storage there. And it is a pretty thin tablet also, which is nice. On the bottom, you can see we have our speakers, mic, and our USB-C. Now, we don't have stereo speakers or anything like that, just that bottom firing speaker. On the side, you can see we have our volume keys as well as our fingerprint sensor, power button. And as you can see, it's kind of indented a little bit there, so you know where your finger is going, and as you can see, it just unlocks really quickly. Now, on the top, you can see we have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack, as well as a microphone there. And on the back, we have this kind of suede feeling kind of material. I think they call it suede black. It does kind of collect fingerprints if you have oily fingers, so as you can see, but it should clean up just fine. We do have our 8 megapixel camera on the back, as well as LED flash, TCL branding, and then Verizon branding at the bottom. So the TCL TAB does include Android 10 with TCL's UI on top. It is a pretty basic installation. Now, one thing I noticed is it doesn't include a lot of the fancy features from the TCL phones, so you won't be getting anything like the Smart Key or the Next Vision technology where it'll make SDR content look like HDR. You won't have Super Bluetooth, which can connect up to 4 different audio devices, so you can connect up to 4 headphones or 4 sets of Bluetooth speakers. So you are getting a pretty basic version of Android here. Another thing I noticed too is you don't even get the sorting feature where you can sort by different categories in the actual app drawer here, so it is a pretty basic installation of Android. One feature that is included is a Smart Manager, and what this will do is if you go into it, it'll scan your system to see if everything is okay, if it can remove any cache, close any apps that are hogging up resources in the background, and this will optimize everything for you. So it's nice to check this out every now and again if your tablet is running slow, and it can take care of some, stuff in the background. So there is a little bit of bloatware on the TCL TAB, so you do have a lot of Verizon stuff. Some of that stuff can't be uninstalled, but a lot of this stuff can be. So of course you can see we have Disney Plus, DoorDash, CoinMaster, Best Fiends, and just some random stuff in here, but all that stuff can be uninstalled. One thing, however, that this has that the iPad doesn't have is a full calculator, as you can see. So the iPad doesn't even have a calculator. Interesting inclusion with the TCL Tab is Verizon messaging. So the Verizon messaging app is included here. So you do have Verizon service. You can actually text message from this. And another interesting thing that's included with the tablet is it does have a vibrating motor in it. So if you do receive text messages and notifications, this does vibrate just like a phone. And it also vibrates and gives you a haptic feedback whenever you use the power key. So whenever you unlock the tablet, you get a little vibration to let you know. So for our Geekbench, you can see we get a 310 on the single core and a 1373 on the multi-core. And of course, this isn't going to be a super powerhouse of a tablet, but performance is still pretty good. Now, one thing I do notice that is lacking is the RAM. So it is only 3 gigs. And one thing I did notice is that from time to time, it would refresh apps on a regular basis. So you could be in the Chrome browser looking at something and then switch to another app and then switch back and it would completely have to refresh. So I don't know if it's because it is a limited amount of RAM or maybe it's just not optimized completely for this system. But I did notice that the RAM management was not as good as some other TCL products. All right, so now I want to test out a couple social media apps just to see how well they perform. So first we'll start out with Twitter. All right, test out some scrolling here. So scrolling's a little choppy sometimes, but images seem to load up pretty well. So not too bad. We can check out fleets. As you can see, those work just fine also. If we want to go to our search, as you can see, those load up pretty quickly also. Want to open up a new tweet. All right, next we'll go ahead and we'll try out Instagram. All right, and as you can see, that loaded up pretty quickly also. So scrolling isn't too bad here. I'm going to go to our camera. Swapping the cameras, not too bad. And then last, we'll check out TikTok. And I don't have the sound on because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but that one should also run pretty well. All right, so as you can see, these run pretty well. Go to my profile here. There we go. Go to our notifications. So the TCL Tab only has bottom firing speakers, so we don't actually have a stereo speaker set up here, but they are still pretty loud, so I'll go ahead and give you a quick sample of that. So the TCL Tab does feature a really nice 8-inch display. It is Full HD 1080p. So on this 4K video, it does downscale it to 1080p on YouTube, which is pretty nice. And as you can see, colors on here are very nice. We have pretty good contrast ratio, and the brightness on this is pretty good also. Now, I did notice that the viewing angles kind of drop off. As you can see, it gets a little dim when you switch between different angles. So I'm not sure if this is an IPS panel or not. One other omission that I noticed is it does not appear that this has an oleophobic coating on the glass. So this may get a little bit smudgier than, say, your phone would, as I know most phones usually have a oleophobic coating. But other than that, you can see this display is absolutely beautiful and should be just great. Now, another thing that's not included is the Next Vision technology, which is included on the TCL phones. And what that does is it'll kind of bump up the color and contrast and make things pop a little bit more. But even without it, still looks really, really nice. So if you were curious about battery life, as you can see here, I took the screenshot when I had 8% left, and we got almost 8 hours of screen on time with this tablet without the battery saver mode on. So of course, at a certain level, you can turn on battery saver and it'll probably last a little bit longer, but you can expect to probably get, a good 7 to 8 hours on this tablet, which is pretty good. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I'm not a tablet photographer. However, they do include cameras on this tablet. So we do have a 5 megapixel up front, and we have an 8 megapixel with an LED flash on the rear. Now, it does have a pretty traditional phone style UI here, and you do have a couple options. So of course you can take photos, you can take videos, you have a pro mode with a bunch of different features, and these can do 1080p video, so no 4K recording here. We also have filters, a panorama mode, as well as stop motion. So you can have some fun with this camera, but of course, don't depend on this to be like a daily driver. This is not going to be a fantastic camera system. But without further ado, let me go ahead and show you a couple of pictures and clips from these cameras. And here's a quick video sample from the TCL TAB, and it is capable of doing 1080p recording at 30 frames per second. And here's a quick sample from the front-facing camera of the TCL TAB, and this one is also capable of doing 1080p recording at 30 frames per second. So overall, I really do like the TCL TAB. I think it is a pretty good deal for $200. So you're getting a really nice 8-inch screen here. It does include 2 cameras, so you get a 5 megapixel up front, you get an 8 megapixel with an LED flash on the back. Really decent build on this also. You do get a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, you get a Snapdragon 665 processor, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, expandable up to 256 gigs via micro SD. It also has a vibrating motor just like a regular phone does. You can actually text from this. And of course it includes LTE, so you can take this really anywhere you want to go. Now, the one that I think is pretty compelling also is that family edition. So it's the same tablet, but it includes a nice bumper case that has a stand included. You can attach a carabiner clip to it if you wanted to clip it to a kid's backpack or something like that. And this is a really nice portable tablet. So this is, this can go anywhere really. And that tablet also includes some pre-installed apps and some free trials. So it is pretty nice and it's a pretty good deal, I think. So if you guys are interested in this tablet, I'll leave a link down below where you can catch this. Again, it's a Verizon exclusive, which kind of stinks, but of course, if you decide to buy it on Verizon, you don't keep Verizon, you can use it as a Wi-Fi tablet also. But anyway, guys, I'll leave a link down below if you're interested in it. And if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more like this, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.